So now begins the first ever race of the Micromax Open for 2025. It's the pre-final, 10 minutes plus 2 additional laps, and your grid is as follows. Yesimunen will start on pole position after getting the best out of every single minute of that kart yesterday, and will start on pole position. Ryan Rampadanath and the number 32 will line up alongside Maxime Rambert, the top rookie, and that will have Connor Halfer to the immediate to the immediate left-hand side on the circuit. Noah Stayhalder and Noah Phillips will be on row number 2, drivers 12 and 15. Kenji Schreurs and Ian Halfer on numbers 14 and 28 round out row number 4. And the last two drivers, Gillian van der Poel and Adrien Krogel, round out the top 10. Krogel, unfortunately, being excluded from the session, having to be found underweight post-qualifying yesterday. So we'll now have to start from the rear of the grid. Set a 1:03.259, which put the number 17 sixth, as the drivers now go onto their official formation lap for this race. So we're now at 20 degrees centigrade air temperature. The drivers being told to slow down and split apart because they are on their official formation lap. The red lights are on the starting gantry overlooking the start-finish line here at the 1,360 metre circuit here at the Home of Champions. So it is going to be down to Yesimunen and Ryan Rampadanath to control the pace. Now, all engines used by the drivers in both Micro and Mini are selected by a lottery draw and are provided and maintained by Chrono Karting to provide a parity between the engines. So the field makes its way past the red line of no return. Moonen on pole, Rampadanath on the outside of the front row. They've got to control the pace at a consistent speed before our race director allows them to go, and thereby the red lights will be out. So, out of the final corner, into the tram lines, revs rise, lights on, and they have not gone out, so we are going to go around again for another tour. And so the green flag with the yellow V or chevron indicates a false start. So once again, that old adage of if we get another full start, what happens? Time starts counting down. And then you'll have a bit more of a condensed, a bit more of an exciting sprint race as a possibility. So on this particular occasion, our Micromax drivers are pretty much in formation now. Looks like this could be a much cleaner start. The red lights are still on the starting gantry and the drivers are keeping us waiting. The anticipation mounts here in the first race of the Micromax Open that starts now and will go all the way through to the end of the season in early November. Ticket for the grand finals up for grabs for all registered ASN respective drivers from any nation that wishes to enter. So into the tram lines for the second time. Revs up, lights on. This time we get going, and straight away Conor Halfer cuts across to try and get a little bit of an advantage, but drops a position in the meantime. One driver going very, very brazenly up the inside, but finds one to the outside, one to the inside through turn number 3 as we head up to the Europalan for the first time. So Jesse Moonen getting a really, really good start on the Hasse chassis. Maxime Rambert and Ryan Rampadanath at the moment, while they've swapped places. So Rambert in the number 80 ahead of the number 32 as they go through turn 8. Battle for 4th and 5th just behind as they come out of turn number 9 and head into turn 10. Jesse Moonen looks to have struck early whilst the iron's still hot and has got a little bit of an advantage. And at this point, that advantage is nearly 0.8 of a second. Maxime Rambert being hustled along and pressurised by Ryan Rampadanath. Noah Stehouder through on Conor Halfer for P4. And Stehouder has bridged the gap between the youngster from Germany in the 78 Formula K chassis to about 0.4 of a second. Noah Phillips, Julian van der Poel up 2 places from the start, so started 9th. As Kenji Streurs now slips down to 10th position after the opening lap. The 10 drivers covered by just shy of 4.8 seconds. So Jesse Moonen, well, no surprise at the front end of the field, setting the fastest lap of the race. So 1:04.031. Rampadanath has got through on Maxime Rambert through into turn 10. That's the change back for second position in favour of the number 32. Now into turn 12. So Jesse Moonen continues to lead after the second lap of racing. We've got just under 8 minutes to go, plus 2 additional laps. Lead now expands to nearly 1.3 seconds. 3 behind. Jesse Moonen have to start pushing forwards and see if they can move and get the inroads on the driver at the front end of the field. It's still early days, but with a consistent approach, a sensible head on calm shoulders, and good lap pace with the cart underneath them, that will help them to indirectly push each other forward. They've got to watch their 6 though, because Conor Halfer is starting to catch them a little bit in the number 78. So the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th is starting to intensify, with the 4th driver looking to make it a quartet in the battle for P2. Oh, Ramboa dives to the inside of Rampadanath, who loses out 3 positions. Conor Halfer dives to the inside there. Great move there by the 78. Managed to get 2 for the price of 1, so Halfer up to P2. Youngster from Germany. He's ahead of Maxime Rambert. Then it's Noah Stehouder and Ryan Rampadanath. The quartet still battling away, and that has allowed Jesse Moonen to claw a gap of about 2.15 seconds after the opening 3 laps, and it's just put in another new fastest lap of the race. 1:03.039. Stehouder, a high 1:03.5. Rambert, a high 1:03.7. Conor Halfer, low 1:03.3, and is going defensive into turn 10. So just under 6 minutes remaining. It's a scramble for second at the moment, going through the final corner. And Halfer could be a little bit of a sitting duck here if he's not careful. He pulls to the right-hand side, and it's going to be nearly 3 wide behind him. Oh, Rampadanath gets a bit of a fright, gets checked up by Stehouder, who tries to go through on Rambert. Rambert stays in 3rd. Rampadanath, as a result of that, has now managed to come through and take 4th away from Noah Stehouder. So a good little exchange, a bit of a scare for the 32 coming down the start-finish straight. It was the fact of Stehouder pulled to the right, and then Rampadanath tried to do the same, and Rampadanath, oh, that was a bit of a stumble through into turn 7, into the right rear by the 32. of Maxime Rambert in the number 80. Be very, very careful how they line up these moves, and sometimes it can be a bit of a between a bit of a rock and a hard place to have to make that kind of decision. But Rampadarath should make this move if he decides to through into turn 12. Decides discretion being the better part of valor. A bit further back, there is a three-way scrabble, and that is for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Adrian Krogel. I think it's Ian Halford, Adrian Krogel, and Kenji Schurz. Schurz are battling away for 6th, 7th, and 8th, maybe. And let's just see. It is 7th, 8th, and 9th. Still Conor Halford really putting the brakes on things, not literally, but figuratively speaking. He's keeping the three behind him really, really well, but that's allowing, as I said, Jesse Moonen, who's now got a 4.1 second advantage after 5 laps. And Jesse Moonen, another new fastest lap of the race, 1:02.854. Halford, this is going to be very, very nip and tuck coming out of turn number 10 and into 11, because the three behind got a really, really good run on the 78 from Germany. Halford's having to defend, keeps tight to the inside line. Maxime Rambert gets through. Well, no, Noah Stehauder gets through on Ryan Rampadarath. And here we go again. Well, this time Rampadarath does not invite a possibility of the cart going sideways. Move from Maxime Rambert. That was through on Conor Halford, who now drops to P3. And the lead now, Jesse Moonen has, is 5.6 seconds and is climbing significantly. Last 3 laps from Moonen, 1:02.865, 1:03.039, and then the fastest lap of the race on lap 4, 1:02.854. Stehauder with a bold move there through into turn number 7. Gets the job done. Back up to P3 goes the number 12, but they've got to be very, very careful. This is where you've got to measure things correctly and precisely. One wrong move, one wrong application of brake, one wrong application of throttle coming out of a corner could give a driver a significant disadvantage in comparison with the 3 behind. But Maxime Rambert still leading the battle for P2 ahead of Conor Halford, Noah Stehauder, and Ryan Rampadarath. Lead now after 7 laps. Jesse Moonen, another new fastest lap of the race, 1:02.789, 6.2 seconds up the road, and that advantage is climbing every single corner as we speak. So Moonen scarpers away into the far distance. Whilst the 4 behind still battling tooth and nail over P2. Could be a change here up the inside, and that is a change for second, maybe a change for third on the cards. Is it going to be 3 wide? It is 3 wide behind Conor Halford, who's now back up into second. Stehauder to the inside, Rampadarath to the outside. Rampadarath has to slot back in. So Rambert holds on to 4th for the meantime. And this is where things get a little bit tricky. You know, you're counting down the corners, you're counting down the timer, and now there's another change. So Rambert back through on Stehauder. That's a retake of the 3rd place by the number 80. But just with this big dominant factor that is the driver up front. Here we go into turn number 10. And once more, Conor Halford is defending from Maxime Rambert in the number 80. And this could be very, very dicey going through the final corner. It was 4 trying to battle for the same bit of real estate at the minute, but Conor Halford is still holding on. So this and 2 more laps to go. Maxime Rambert once again looking through the inside into turn 2, and Halford holds station. Stehauder and Rampadarath at the back end of this quartet still battling away over what would be 4th position. So 2 more laps to go after this one. We're on lap 10 out of 12. And Jesse Moonen's lead after 9 laps was an impressive 7.4 seconds. The last 3 laps done by the number 10 from Belgium have been consistently a high 102.8, a low 102.9, and then the fastest lap of the race on lap 7, 102.789. So Moonen will cross the line with 2 laps remaining on the board. The timer has now expired. Conor Halfer's got to have eyes in the back of his head on stalks at the moment as the squeeze between Rambo and Stayhouder into turn number 2. Berg keeps it round the outside. Neat move there by the 80. To keep a hold of that position. As Kenji Schreurs has lost out to Adrian Krogel. Julian van der Poel now ahead of Ian Halfer. But next time around, we will have the last lap board being shown. Still this enthralling battle. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th is going to carry on right up until the checkered. Last lap underway, courtesy of Jesse Moonen, but now the scramble will begin. They know they've got about 1.4 kilometres of real estate to battle for this 2nd spot. Halfer still has it, ahead of Rambo, who's got Stayhouder up the inside. Rampart Danath waiting for his opportunity, but both time, laps and corners are fast running out for the number 32 for SP Motorsports. They come out of turn 4 into turn 5. Halfer goes defensive again into turn 7 off of the Europlan for this last time of asking here on lap number 12 out of 12. Our race leader, however, is just coming through turn number 11 as I speak. And, well, what a way to start Sunday for Jesse Moonen. Out of the final corner, the number 10 is going to pick up the win in the pre-final, and that is more than comfortable. That's a Sunday morning drive in the local Limburg countryside. Second, it's going to come down to a drag race to the line. Conor Halfer leads him out of the final corner. It's going to be nearly it's 2 by 2, and Ramboa pips Halfer by 7 thousandths of a second to 2nd place. Ryan Rampadanath finishing ahead of Noah Stayhouder, who rounds out the top 5, and between 2nd and 5th, it was less than a 10th across the line. Noah Phillips takes 6th ahead of Kenji Schreurs. Adrian Krogel rounds out the top 8, with Ian Halfer and Julian van der Poel rounding out your provisional top 10 finishers. But Jesse Moonen in the number 10 from Belgium takes a pretty convincing win by nearly 10 seconds at the end of that 12-lap race, with Ramboa, Halfer, Rampart Danath, Stayhouder, Phillips, Schreurs, Krogel, Ian Halfer and Julian van der Poel rounding out the finishing order.